It's been 12 years now since I started this journey on the path of yoga. It was back in 2010, July, where I decided that I'm gonna change the entire course of my life and dedicate my journey, dedicate my entire life to the teachings of yoga, learn, explore, and share this happiness with everyone. This single resolve of mine that I took 12 years ago has completely changed me as a person. What has been changed? What did yoga do to me? Why I teach yoga? What I'm going to be sharing with you today. Words completely fall short, and there's a sense of silence that I start to experience when this question is being asked as to why I teach yoga. I have no answers to this question. Sometimes you just know deep down that what is it that you want to do. The moment I discovered yoga, I knew that I had found the purpose for which I'm born. The formal system of education that I was taught was definitely not for me. I hated every single year that I spent at school because deep down I knew that I could never ever connect to this kind of formal education system that was introduced by someone else. When you do not love, when you cannot connect to the things that you read, when you can't connect to the person who's teaching you, you'll never love the subject that you're undergoing your studies in. Love for the subject, the respect for the subject, the affection towards the subject comes also from the individual who teaches you. I have never been influenced or inspired by any of my teachers in the 10 plus years of education in school or 2 plus 4 years of education in college and university. Never. I felt like most of the teachers who used to teach, for them it was a living. They were trying to make ends meet by doing whatever they're doing. But for me it was kind of very personal. When you teach someone that they come seeking for, you have to sow the seed of inspiration in them and share the energy that you have in you by recognizing what is it that is deficient in them, and you have to fill this gap in them. Each and every student, each and every aspirant who comes to learn under me, I try to recognize this with them. This is one of the core principle every teacher, irrespective of whichever path of knowledge you teach, has to keep in mind. Each and every aspirant, each and every student, each and every enthusiast who reaches out to you comes in seeking of something that is lacking in them, and they see that in you, and it is the responsibility of a teacher to share it with them. And this is what I experienced from all the teachers from whom I've learned. Let's accept we are not born perfect. We have a lot of things to learn. We have n number of streams of knowledge with respect to which we have to have insights. We may not become experts in it, but we have to know what is what. But the knowledge of the self, the knowledge of knowing about one's own self is very, very important. This was never taught at all. And this, people don't even pay attention to this when they teach you the kind of education that they teach you in the school and the university level, whatever it may be. For me, the knowledge about one's own self was very, very important. A lot of unanswered questions are there in each and every one of us from the very young age itself, which remain unanswered for a long, long time. For me, finding answers to these unanswered questions was my top priority. Rest all came next. And once I stumbled upon, or maybe the destiny moved me closer towards yoga, I started to find a lot of answers. See, all of us have this discomfort that we experience with our own self. We are very uncomfortable with our own self. We are never happy. We are never convinced. There is no contentment within us. We feel as if each and every day we aren't working towards our best potential. We aren't doing and fulfilling things that we are born for. Each one of us know. I just accepted this. Then I realized, okay, I can't follow the path that is being followed by a number of people. I have to choose the path for which I'm born for. Deep down, each one of us know what exactly that we have to do in order to feel comfortable with ourselves. And in spite of knowing this, you keep pushing yourself. I decided in 2010, okay, I'm not going to fight anymore. I'm going to do, follow, and be that. By doing, following, and being, I feel I'm happy. I feel there's no need for me to reach out to anyone else. That's when I started to pursue the path of yoga. The asana pose that you see, me turning, twisting, and bending my body in unimaginable ways, it's just a part of it. It's something to get your attention, you may call it as. But you start from there. Why do I share so much of asana pictures? It's just you have to first become aware, of your body awareness. Awareness should first come towards your physical body, because that's the first thing, especially in this age, you will notice for yourself. Physical health, mental health is the first thing. It's the top priority. Being physically fit, being physically healthy, and being happy at the same time has become a dream for a lot of people. But for me, it's natural. And this is what I wish to share with you guys. Being mentally sane, talking about mindfulness, talking about mental health being, affected. What is it? It is about you going against your nature. When you do each and every action of yours that is in tune with who you are, you grow on the process of each and every action. There is no question of mental health itself. But when each and every action that you do, there's a lot of resistance, there's a lot of no that comes on the inside because of ego, because of not wanting to learn something. That's when a lot of pressure starts to build in over here. Or if you're with people who have absolutely, no idea about what is what, that's a different case altogether. The first thing I say is just move out of there and then find another circle of people, another place to work. You keep pushing yourself. The mind has its own threshold. It'll break after a certain point of time. Being physically healthy, being mentally sane is not difficult. You have made it difficult by developing those habits which is pushing you away from this. A regulation in sleeping cycle, food consumption, activities that you do, everything has to be regulated. It's not that easy to live. You're alive, but are you living? That's what is important. To live, you have to feel happy from each and every action that you indulge yourself in. What those actions are, what is the path of knowledge that you're born for, you have to sit, think, analyze, and choose for yourself. I decided to see everything that is there with respect to the world through yoga. For you, it may be something else. It may not be yoga at all. But you can use yoga as a catalyst and then accelerate your journey towards whichever stream of knowledge that you wish to pursue. Clarity is what you start to get once you start practicing yoga. And that's exactly what I got. And once I started to gain clarity with respect to my own life as to why I have gone through whatever I have gone through, there was no turning back. There was no doubt at all. That's when I decided, okay, it's definitely what I have to do. And then it starts. It's been 12 years now. All of us live. All of us live. All of us live life in different stages. We evolve, we grow. If you keep doing the same action, if you keep doing the same action, same activity each and every single year, and you start to feel as if there's no growth in them, then naturally you will feel like you're stuck. Each and every action of yours should help you, make you feel alive, and should make you feel free. But if these actions, the growth, the exposure that you're, being influenced with, if it's not making you feel free on the inside, then you should definitely start to rethink about whatever you're doing. The wish to feel free from the actions that you do, the wish to feel free from the life that you're leading is the most basic requirement of being a human. Freedom is what I started to experience once I started to practice yoga. And I want to teach you this. The feeling of wanting to feel free, experiencing freedom every single day you wake up. Who wouldn't want this? Every day you wake up, you feel free. Every day you wake up, you feel free. You feel light. You feel calm and composed. You feel, okay, there's immense clarity. You know what you have to do. That is what yoga teaches. And you start to pursue this. This is the first step. If clarity is the first step, if clarity is something that you're getting on the very first few months of starting your journey, imagine what you're going to achieve down the line. I teach yoga because it resonates with the nature that I am. And these principles, these teachings of yoga, it's not for you after you become old. When you're maybe in your 60s or your 50s, if you learn the practices of yoga when you're as old as that, what's the use? Have this wisdom and insight when you're young, then you can play with your life. You are living, you're alive, but once you start, if you want to play with your life, you have to know this wisdom of what life is. You have to know about your own self. Just playing on your phone or on video games, on whatever it may be, that's not fun. You have to, derive and squeeze the juice out of your life in the word of fun. And how is it that you can do? That's through yoga. Honestly, you can make your life, you can call fun as a synonym of life if you start adopting the techniques that are there in yoga, if you start practicing the techniques that are there in yoga. Why? Clarity comes in. Doubt disappears. Self-doubt, what we call as samshaya, is one of the biggest hurdle that brings down even the greatest of the greatest intellectual individual. Self-doubt, you keep doubting yourself every single step. That stops. Faith in oneself, belief in oneself, and absolute clarity as to what you want to do comes to you. All those things that are pulling you down, willfully you will let go of them. It doesn't matter how close or how cordial the relationships are with your loved ones or with the things that you possess. Once you realize these things are dragging you down, you will never hesitate even for 1 second to let go of them. Why? Because you see the real picture. You see the bigger picture. What is it? You. You start to understand yourself. Understanding oneself is what yoga teaches you. And that's exactly what I want to teach you if you wish to learn. Understanding oneself, resonating to who you are on the inside. All these things are very basic necessities apart from food and clothing. Food, clothing, shelter is not the only basic necessity. If you're watching this, then definitely you would have fulfilled this three things: food, clothing, shelter. Now, provide shelter for this. You have to start thinking if you haven't thought about it up until now. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Age has nothing to do with this. The knowledge of your own self is already there. All you have to do is sit and connect to it. You've been doing so many actions, you've been doing so many activities that are completely pushing you away from who you are. And then, isn't it natural for you to feel lost? Imagine doing those action and activities that are closer towards your nature. Clarity dawns by itself. You don't even have to ask for it. Being disciplined, leading a meaningful life is not boring. It is driven by a purpose. Each and every one of us have a purpose. Since we don't live by this purpose each and every day, you start feeling, okay, you're lost. And a big question mark starts to set in. You do n number of actions in the span of 10-15 years. And then on the 15th year, you start to think, okay, what have I done to myself? What did I do all these years? A big question mark. Thinking about yourself is not a once in a decade approach. Thinking about oneself should become an everyday habit. And by practicing yoga, this becomes an everyday habit. Thinking about one's own self. Most importantly, connecting to one's own self and living peacefully with oneself. And once you are happy, once you are peaceful on the inside, naturally you'll see happiness and silence everywhere around you. You see violence, you see a lot of things that, not meant to be seen. Why? There are people from all different walks of life. Can't ignore it. But at least you can be strong on the inside. When you are strong on the inside, doesn't matter what kind of external influence brings you down, You on the inside will make sure you remain calm, composed, and strong. That is what yoga teaches you. Learn this when you're young and see how you can play with your life. I'm talking about meaningful play, not, wishful play or flirtyful play. No. You play with your life and then you can see how fun it is. The real fun comes once you start enjoying each and every activity, each and every action that you're meant for, that you're born for. And once you start fulfilling it, everything becomes meaningful. The asana practices helps you to feel the lightness and calmness like you can never imagine. There are a lot of different types of workouts and other practices, but what asana does, you can't even imagine. The practice of Shirshasana, Sarvangasana, the practice of all the different asanas helps you tone the body, the muscles, and most importantly, helps you to feel and connect to your own self. And definitely physically fit. The functioning of the internal organs improves. The immunity definitely is very, very strong because of consistent practice. And what happens? Your limitations with respect to the body that are there drops. As you age, a number of health issues starts to come up, either because of the limitations of the body or because of you incurring it genetically from your ancestors. By regular practice of asana, you free yourself from all this health related issues that are confined to the body. Being healthy is a gift that you give yourself every single day, also by eating healthy. Imagine you reach a state where you're completely free from all different kinds of health issues. Only then you'll start thinking what is next. If you're stuck at getting yourself fit, getting yourself healthy for the next 10-15 years, that's insane. You don't need 10-15 years to reach the state of healthy body, to get fit. No. The work that can be done in 1 year, if you prolong it to 15 years, you would have wasted a lot number of years during that span of time. Dedicate the time and energy to get yourself fit physically, mentally, and so that you can accelerate your journey beyond the physical health. If you wish to go beyond the physical body, you have to make sure you free yourself from all the problems that you have with respect to the physical body. Then your journey towards the breath starts. And then the journey towards the mind starts. And then the journey towards the intelligence starts. And then it goes beyond. But it always starts with the physical body first. At least for you, if you're practicing asana. So start with the practices. Take this resolve that you're going to make sure that you're going to reach this level of perfection, fitness, and then free yourself from all different kinds of health issues.